Today's video is talking about proving something in math. So to start off, let's talk about proving something is false in math. To prove something is false in math, you have two different options. Option one is you can just show one example. Let's actually call this option A. Option B is you can use math reasoning or math manipulation in order to show that it is false. Let's give an example. Let's say you have a question. Actually, I'll pause here. Write down whatever you want to write down. Continue the video when you're ready. Okay, so let's say for your example, you're asked is x plus 2 times x plus 3 equal to x squared plus 6. Well, if we wanted to do option A here to prove that it is false, all we have to do is show one example. You could say false if x equals 8. Then you would have 8 plus 2 is 10. 8 plus 3, 11. 8 squared, or 8 times 8, 64, plus 6. And we know that 10 times 11, which is 110, is not equal to 70. There you go. That's using option A, providing one false example, will show that this statement is not true or is false. Option B, you could use math manipulation. So let's call this label as A. So option B, I can use math manipulation. So I can multiply this out, and this will equal x times x squared, x times 3, 2 times x, 2 times 3, I will combine my like terms. I'll combine my 3x with my 2x. Obviously, these two are not equal to each other. This one has a 5x, this one does not. So since this one's not equal, therefore this one's not equal, and my first original statement is also not equal. So this would be using math manipulation to show that it is false. Pause video, take notes as you would like. Hit play when you're ready. Okay, so that's proving that something is false. If you wanted to prove that something is true, in math, you basically have just that second option. So if you want to prove something is true, you would basically have to use option B from our notes earlier. Still going to call this option B so that it matches the notes from the previous slide. So option B, so you're going to be using math reasoning or math manipulation. Okay. Let me explain why you can't just give an example. Pause video here, copy down what you want. So let's give an example of why you can't just give an example to show something is true. Okay, so why can't I just give an example like I did before? Why can't I just give an example like when I was proving something false to prove something is true? It's because we need it to always be true. If your only options are true or false and you're trying to say that something is true, you need to always be true. And a single example is not good enough. Let's give an example. Let's say that you're asked is n squared equal to 2n? Now I can find an example that shows that this is true. For example, I could say when n is equal to 2, and then you have 2 squared equals 2 times 2. That's 4 and 4. All that means these two must be equal to each other. Even if you gave more than one example, it still wouldn't be enough. I could say, okay, well, when n equals 0, okay, well, this is 0 squared equals 2 times 0. That's still 0 equals 0. So you can't just give an example to show something is true. You can't even give multiple examples to show something is true. You'd have to use math manipulation or math reasoning to prove something is true. So this is not enough. this is not enough to prove it is true. Pause the video here, take whatever notes you would like. If you wanted to prove something is true, you'd have to actually do the math manipulation. For example, if you were asked, is 2x times 3x minus 6, is that equal to 3x times 2x minus 4? So here you can do the math manipulation and actually find out if this is true or not. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 6 is negative 12x. On this side, 3x times 2x, 3x times 4. So you would say, yes, this is true. Okay. Last one I want to talk about. Sometimes you're given the option of sometimes true, sometimes false. So is something always true? Is it always false? Or sometimes they'll give you this option. Is it sometimes true, sometimes false? And to prove something is sometimes true, sometimes false. One very easy way to do this is, I'm going to call this option C. Is you show one example of each. Or show one true plus show one that is false. Example, let's say I had someone mentioned that, let's say someone says that high school teachers are males or men. I can say, well, my reply to this would be, this is sometimes true, sometimes false. Just for record, you don't actually have to put both of them. You can just say this is sometimes true. If you say this is sometimes true, the other side, it's understood that it's sometimes false. So I would actually just write this is sometimes true. And you give two examples. Well, Mr. Lee is male. Then think of some other example. Ms. Susie is female.